Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter
September
Bi-Weekly
18th, 2024. My name is Françoise Elise, and I'm the chair.
I'm Julie Gilman, the Select Board Rep.
And I'm Pam Jett, I'm the clerk.
So we do have a quorum.
Yes.
First item, new business, review of the minutes from our last meeting. Does anybody have any comments or changes they want to make?
I don't, actually. I move to accept.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. So the second item, the status of this Pine Street grant. In our last meeting, Julie had brought in some materials.
Good, here comes somebody else.
Oh,
No.
welcome, welcome.
Yeah, Dave, I have a question for you on the Pine Street survey. I haven't gotten in touch with Brandy, but will they pay out, do they just pay out at 100%? Or can we submit like 90%, the project at 90% and get some?
That's a good question. Kathy handles the invoicing, which we just paid the first installment of $10,000.
To the preservation company?
To the preservation.
Okay.
Company. Now, the next step after, we just did, like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I just approved, I think I just approved it yesterday. So now the next step is to ask for reimbursement. So I'll look into that. I mean, I used to do it.
I thought we did it in pieces.
Yeah.
We probably have to send them because now we're at 90%, so probably have to send them the materials that I have, and I don't know if I copied you on them.
Yeah, we're maybe at 90% finished, but we've only paid 50%.
No.
Yeah, no, because there's the first one, it was a bill for $10,000.
Yep.
that I did.
Yep.
And then the total's 22 and 10 is remaining, so.
Okay, then I will,
Yeah, work with us.
all right, I'll figure it.
Yeah, there used to be, I mean, it's changing a little bit over there with the city. Remember, there used to be a quarterly report.
Yeah.
And then that's when you submit your, reimbursement request, but that could, that could change, so I'll look into that.
Yeah, and we're supposed to do an annual report sometime?
Yep, we do that every year, that Barb does that.
Okay,
It gets sent to me Barb takes care of that, like how many applications were processed, like how many were approved.
how many demolitions,
Exactly.
changes to the board?
Yeah, she knows all that, so she tracks all that, so she's the one who.
Well, I appreciate that I don't have to do it anymore.
We do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank Barb.
Okay, I will. Can we, with the board's indulgence, move to the,
Demolition review?
no, just real quick, the New Hampshire Office of Planning and Development's, New Hampshire Preservation Alliance workshops.
Okay, sure.
They have selected a date.
Oh, for Exeter.
Yep, they want to
Okay.
do it in Exeter.
Okay, great.
They've selected a date, it's April 30th, it's during school vacation. So there should be some parking.
Okay.
But my question to you is, if we host it, then there are no fees for using the town hall and art gallery, instead of having them apply to use it all by themselves.
I would support that. And
It's
who
one
do
of
we
the
have
jobs
to?
we do.
Okay. Who do we have to request that through?
I already did that
Okay.
through the Parks and Rec. We reserved the
Okay.
the town hall and art gallery, and then let the NHPA know that we're doing it's all okay and ready to go. So they're going to fill out the application in our name.
Okay,
And then
okay.
them
In our name, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But they'll leave the contact people, so let me turn my sound off. Okay.
When is that then?
April 30th
Of next year?
next year, yep.
2025.
Right.
Right.
So we'll need to have an action item list in terms of what we need to do to support that?
Yes,
Okay.
they'll give us that.
Okay.
It might just be that we use the chairs that are in there.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
I don't know. I think they might use other buildings in town, but that's not our worry.
okay. Is there anything we would like to do to
Promote it?
promote it? Yes, and host it and,
Yeah, we definitely should get it on TV beforehand. The NHPA advertises to other certified local governments to join us,
okay,
and then we can do our own advertising with Dave or somebody's help, just to put out a flyer, or just, we could probably do a lot of it online.
okay,
Through the biweekly report and,
Okay.
and a connection to the Heritage Commission website and
okay.
announcements, that kind of thing.
Do we want to ask the selectmen to come and welcome them?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all I need. That's way down on the list, so I just wanted to put that
Okay,
out there and get it to the top.
okay. So we should expect them to provide us with the things that they need. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And we'll do some publicity, and we'll make sure that the town is here, to welcome them. And if we can think of anything else that we should do,
Well, we could give them a walking tour of downtown Exeter. What do you do? I mean, I don't know if they want it, but
They might, when they first approached me, their discussion points that they wanted to cover in the next year were revitalizing downtowns, dam removal,
okay,
what's
We're
things?
good there.
I know, well, it's things that we could all see from like the town hall steps. Dam removal, revitalized downtowns. I can't remember the last one, but we fit them all.
demolition?
No, but
They
that we can give an example right next to the town hall.
Okay,
Well, we, doing the downtown, even just in the steps, you can.
Yeah.
We can,
Well, we'll do a tour. I took some of them around downtown and all the way down Lincoln Street. So that also might be a good example of what we could do there.
well, we could give them a demonstration of the walking tour that the Historic Society has done. This is really good. We talked about this at our last meeting, and I really believe promoting this would be a really good thing. There are 40 landmarks that are described in this.
Okay. Well, it'd be nice to be able to add to that for, further out from the downtown area.
well, how far out do you want to go? There have been people who asked to see Jude Hall's playing, but I don't want to walk them down Drinkwater Road.
Well, we can put it on there, not as a walking tour, but make extra pieces and
Yeah.
something, something like that, or examples of certain architectural types, or do's and don'ts of demolition, you know, before and after, have a couple of good ones. Just things like that. If either let us buy the application from you and have it on our tour for the things that aren't on your tour, or we can link the two together.
Well, we could again, here are the walking tours. You can have the huge one, which will take all afternoon. You can have the kids one, which will take 15 minutes. We don't call it the little old lady one, but that takes about half an hour. But,
The short term,
yeah.
the short one and the long one, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, then let's take a look at that, because I'll tell you, I haven't yet.
okay, well, it's,
see what we need to
you-
put together.
again, we were just talking about that before. To see if there is some way to get from the town website, so it will just come up and say, would you like a walking tour of Exeter? Press here. Or at the moment, that doesn't exist.
Okay.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
I'd really like to promote that.
We need to talk to Bob Glowacki about that.
Okay. And then Pam has given me the name of the tech person at the Historic
Yeah,
Society.
here's her phone number, by the way.
Okay. I can talk to. Because, so they have 2 meetings a year of this type? The Preservation Alliance?
Yeah, they have a spring conference, and I don't think they have a standard, but they like to do two, a
Okay.
spring conference and a fall conference.
Okay.
So this year they thought Exeter, I've been in touch with them over other things, and suddenly I became on the list of people to contact.
Okay.
They called me.
Would you like me to take that over for you? I know you're really busy. I mean, I could,
Well, it doesn't take much.
Okay.
I know who the person that, they have a consultant that's actually putting it together. and
Okay.
She's a, what do I want, conference
Okay.
organizer,
Yeah.
so.
All right.
I would just have to give her the space, and they'll figure out what they need.
Okay.
We can offer, the tours, et cetera. I don't, like I said, there's the two things that they're talking about in particular, because dam removal is coming up all over the state now.
yes.
And so we can talk about what we went through, bazillion-year process
Yeah.
of taking that down. And then, we have the potential for another one, and what we have to go through for that. So, but I don't know the details of what they want to do, it's just the topics.
Okay. Great. So we'll be looking forward to welcoming them here in Exeter on April 30th. Okay, so were you going to, are we done with that?
Yeah.
item? Okay. Were you going to address anything on the Pine Street grant?
Oh, just what I said to
Okay. All right.
Dave. They are 90% finished. That's what they showed us, that with all the photos, and
All
how
right,
they're doing
yep.
the narrative.
They're 90% finished. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so the next item on the agenda, we did address this at our last meeting. So I made a mistake putting it back on, items that we would consider bringing forward to at the All Boards Commission meeting coming up. So we did address this.
We did.
Yeah, this is good for talking to the select board about our view of what the all boards meeting, needs.
Okay.
Last time it was really just about the right to know law, which does need to be included because we have new members on each board all the time. But the knowing what each board does and where we interconnect is something that I think really needs to be opened and challenged.
Okay.
Not challenged, but. So, and
I've been
date,
thinking about that, and I thought that, we don't have a welcome wagon anymore. But when people move into town, wouldn't it be nice for the real estate agents to give them like a, welcome to Exeter. Exeter is run by citizen boards.
Yes.
Here is a list of the citizen boards. Would you like to watch them on Exeter TV?
Yes.
Or so, blah, blah, blah,
That would be a,
yeah.
supposedly the people moving into the historic district are hit with that immediately, although I have met people, and so have you, who have not known
Didn't know
anything.
until they were signing their mortgage.
Yeah,
Yeah, the getting together realtors probably would be easiest to going to the New Hampshire Realtors Society or whatever to put the word out that we want to talk to them. And also contractors. It would be good to get contractors, but I don't know that they have an organization other than advertisements or whatever.
I don't know any contractors, but I know several realtors.
I know, well, for contractors, I would like to change the this is my personal bugaboo, I guess. I would like to change the language that, or at least teach them that window removal and replacement, which is what we see on the HDC at all, most of the time, they need the language that it's not necessarily true that there's energy savings in replacing your old windows, depending on the age of the house and the status of its condition.
Okay. Well, I think having some kind of information piece for new residents is helpful. Because right away, people are looking at that time how they're going to integrate into the community, and that's, if we invite them first, might come to us first.
And it doesn't have to be for new residents. There are plenty of
Right.
old residents who don't know this stuff either. Maybe having a pile of these pamphlets at the voting, out in the atrium or something like that.
Yeah, we had done an all boards, well, it wasn't an all boards meeting, it was I'm trying to think, job fair, a all boards fair in the town hall, and we had each board manned by at least one person from the committee or commission, and we had several people come through, but I don't think we gained a lot of volunteers from it, but it would be good to do that periodically, because we only did it with it once, many, many years ago.
Anyway, it's just something, we could make a pamphlet like that fairly easily. And what we do with it afterwards, we can,
Well, we can send them out to the realtors we know in Exeter.
I just at another board meeting, I'm blanking a little bit, but we talked about the same thing, having a pamphlet for the town. Oh, I know, never mind, that was a Riverwoods thing, but they had the same
That is
problem.
different.
They want to have a pamphlet to give to people. That's what it was.
Okay,
I thought
well,
it might have been conservation, but it wasn't.
okay, let's be the first ones to get that done then.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Well, is that something we should present to the board, that this is something we recommend?
oh,
And because
is there any
taking it
chance,
on our own,
is there going to be an old boards meeting at some point?
It was postponed due to other things that were taking the select board's time, but we haven't set a date for it. So going forward and working on a pamphlet isn't going to hurt at all, because we do have places we can distribute it. So I'd get ahead of it, I guess.
well, it certainly wouldn't be hard to collect all that information because it already exists online.
Right?
So in terms of going forward, who do we work with on that? Is it,
You have any ideas, Dave?
and this would be for all the boards?
I think we ought to start out with ourselves and maybe the
Oh.
HDC.
Okay.
But every board is stretching it for volunteers, I will say that. But I'm desperate for for this board and for HDC members.
Who would be the point person to work on something like that, which eventually would translate to?
That's a good question.
Would it be-
I don't, delegate
communications
people
committee.
to do stuff. I
Wouldn't-
mean, there's a communications
Wouldn't
committee,
it be
Bob
the commu-
Gulacki's
yeah.
always active in getting words out, getting, information out to people.
Yeah, that would be the committee.
Bi-weekly newsletter, what have
We
you.
could start there, just in the biweekly newsletter, and show some examples of what we're doing as far as demolition goes. What we really need to do is, even for just ourselves, is information teaching. So people that come on feel like they know something about building construction and time dating, and especially when we're doing demolition, because I feel like people want to be helpful but don't know what they need to know.
You mean training for board members? Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying?
yeah. But there aren't any real opportunities that I've found that say, except for the camp thing, and even that's not really specific to heritage commissions.
I don't think we should hit
Training.
them with training right off. I mean.
No, it's,
Does anybody mind if I talk to the
Oh, heavens.
communications committee about this as?
Oh, no, that would be
Need a
ideal.
point person, really, to bring together, to say, I want to do this, and then they can get some people maybe to help them.
Sure.
But yeah, try there, you
I
might
think,
find a point
yes.
person.
I know Martha, she's the chair of the communication. She's very attuned to trying to get information to the residents, and
Well,
they've already
this-
done such a great job.
Are we talking about just information for joining boards?
Yes,
Or-
in this particular case, yeah.
We've been talking about that. since
Yes.
I joined the,
Okay,
select board.
all right. So I'm gonna start
conservation.
communication with,
Yeah,
okay.
although the Conservation Commission right now is doing pretty well on numbers.
And they're doing very good in outreach.
Kristen's very good.
Yes, they're doing well in outreach.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an item I'm going to be working on.
Okay.
Okay.
And, well, there were also one other item that we brought up, aside from recruitment of volunteers for the boards that we wanted to present. I still think the idea of some kind of lapel pin for board members to present when they come on and would be a really nice idea. And
I have one but I believe I got that myself from somewhere.
Okay.
But it's a
Town of
Exeter town pin. I don't know where I got it because.
Are you talking about the little round one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we're talking more about a name and what board you're on.
no, just
Oh, just a
Town of
pin?
Exeter would be
Oh.
just one pin
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, we have
All
those.
board members.
Or we had some, we can certainly get them made again.
Yeah,
And work through Russ's
I
office.
guess I got it when I came on the board. I'm not sure,
okay.
but I wear it all the time.
Yeah, I actually might even have mine in here.
It's really a nice idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And one for Rockingham County.
Yes. And, I think it'd be a great idea.
I put all my little pins for everything in
Okay.
one pocket.
So who'd we talk to about that to get that going? Would it be at the all boards meeting or?
We can talk to Russ's office about it. That's where it came from originally.
Okay.
Put mine in my pin box, so I won't lose it.
Do you want me to communicate with Russ? If we all agree on that?
Well, I would think
If you
that,
need any example, let me know.
Yes.
I don't wear a jacket that often
Okay.
anymore.
I'd love to see it, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you know where yours is, I'm a little
Yeah,
questionable.
it sits on my jacket, which
I mean, there
hangs in
could,
the closet, but it doesn't come out very often.
okay, there could be
anymore.
a supply somewhere.
Exactly. Ask
It could be.
Pam that.
Barbara might know.
Okay.
I think
She
Pam
knows
is.
everything.
yeah, she does, and she just went right through right there. You
Okay,
might
I will
ask her
talk to her.
right
Yes.
now
Or
before we leave.
Russ's office, yeah.
Okay.
Probably Russ's.
So I'll talk to Russ's office about the PIN idea
Yeah.
and going forward and, okay. So the next item on the agenda is a demolition committee update. And we did have
Yes.
a meeting yesterday, September 17th at 10 a.m. at 112 Front Street in Exeter regarding a permit, building permit for demolition of that, the buildings on that property there. So at that meeting, we did not take any action or make any recommendations. And I believe that's what we'll be doing today, discussing and making a recommendation.
Yes.
So I have a letter that I need to get to Doug Eastman about that meeting, that it was actually held. And then today, whatever we just make a decision on.
Yeah, I think we can combine the two.
Okay.
And, have it one letter. We had because we're doing it one day later.
Yep.
We can show both our actions in one letter. The owner has, by oral or anecdotal information, that the back of the house is older than the front of the house.
Or the middle of the house, yeah.
It's kind of the middle of the house,
Right.
really. It looks differently because the front of the house is more substantial as far as the height and the width goes, but the trim on the middle part is, I think, dated later than the trim. I'm looking at the eaves where they have the
Yeah.
dental trim on the front part, which is very simple, but the back part has the big scrolly Victorian-looking ones. Now, whether those were attached at some point, I don't know. And there's no, I don't think there's anything that tells a history of the building, creation of it.
Picture is pretty, that could be anything.
Is that from 74?
That's the 1874 map.
Yeah. I put up here what,
Well, yes, it's obvious that the house has been added and detracted and changed over the years.
The 1874 map is really just a blob.
Yeah.
There's a building there. I wanted to go through the 1884 and 1896 aerial maps that were drawn. Now, they're not to scale, but they show the buildings sort of in the configuration that they were. Let me go over there.
Were these maps from the Historical Society?
No, they're
What about the town's,
The town puts a picture on the tax map.
Right.
But,
Well, it'd be current.
but I don't know where they get the dates from. I think they get them from the Ouija board.
Yeah, taxing has the tax department has a certain level of when they
It's,
start dating things.
Oh,
Things like this would just be called antique because they're old. So let me see.
the program that the town has, I can't think of the name of it now. I'm beginning to blank on things.
I'm not doing a PowerPoint, I'm just showing you different things on here, so I'm gonna have to point it out. The house that we were looking at is, let's see, this is right at the top left corner is where Linden, Pine, and Front Street come in. Robinson goes up to where the Robinson Female Seminary is. Academy Lane is what's now called Tan Lane, I believe. It might be Union Street. So we're looking at the house right here.
Oh,
And you can see, because this is Gill Street. Further down on the map, it shows it's Gill Street. Make sure.
so you can see the front part of that building is there at this date.
No, that's Elliott. Hold on. wrong place. Pine Street. Very different map from previous ones. 2, 3. Yeah, and this one, it doesn't have Union or School Streets on it yet, and that's where it's easy to place the building.
So is that backyard, that whole area, does that whole area belong to 112?
Well, let me see. I might be showing you the wrong building.
Right to the graveyard line. I'm wondering if that's actually Linden Street and Front
Yeah.
Street up in the corner.
It is, and what's missing is Union Street.
Which probably wouldn't have been there in 1884.
Okay.
That went in quite late.
Because the next possible one it could be,
But it would be one of these down on the bottom. And it would have been, if I'm looking for where, there's the Academy line, right there, I can see that. But I think they're talking about something else. So it would have been, it's hard to tell with that map. I don't usually use that map because it is so difficult.
well, the main buildings are usually pretty well described. No, it's the one next door to it. I didn't think there was room for 2 houses, but this one.
That's the house.
That's the shape of the end of the house that we can see from the side, and it's got the 2 chimneys, and it does have the addition and the barn in the back.
Yep. And then that's the backyard.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that goes out
Yeah.
right here.
But
But the backyard would have been straight. It wouldn't have gone off to the left there.
Well, it depends. I mean, does this house? I didn't really pay attention. Does this house go back that far anymore? It may have been divided. So that
About where your hand is, you just cut right down to the cemetery.
right.
Yeah.
No, actually, a lot of this goes right to the cemetery.
what, is Gill Street on there?
No, not yet.
Did they have to take, because that's like 2 houses over,
Yes.
and therefore they must have put it where their house is now.
Well,
Yes.
if you look at the 1874, there was an actual Gill house next to their house, and then a Gill Street came in after that, so.
Uh-huh.
And it's probably right around here. Or here. Yeah, around here. But let me show you 1896, because that really,
Pam, is the house on the corner there, the large house next door to this, a historical house? It would seem to be.
Well, describe historical.
Well, I mean, over, say, from the 1800s.
Yeah, yes, it would be. No, 1800s, no, 1900s, yes.
okay, this one is where you do see Union Street and, oh, it's not showing up. Oh, sorry, doing it here, hold on. It's my nose in the wrong place. Oh, look at this, interesting. Pine. It's not that far over. I found it before.
There's front.
Yeah. But that's pine, that's,
And pine.
oh, yeah.
Would it be that building in the middle?
Right here? No.
It looks like it.
Well, it looks as close as you think you're going to get.
Yeah.
These are not
Right.
photograph type
No, no,
things.
no. Yep, so that's
Oh, pine.
the two,
Except it's got Gill Street, and it's not, Gill Street does not exist at our particular point.
okay.
Well, there's, it said Gill Street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
so it's
It's
this
another
one.
Gill Street?
No, it's
There's
Gill
the cemetery.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
the
no, this
cemetery.
is the house we're talking about. This is,
Okay.
this is the
Alright.
one, this
Alright,
is,
It has the three parts?
yeah, this one below it has a building. I don't know that it's the one that's there now. But this is the one that we looked at.
Yeah.
And it has the old part of the house. I have a photograph of, that looks exactly like that. It does have the additions
see it,
that we
yeah.
saw in the back and the same configuration. The only difference with this is it has the hip roofs come together. And so that, is a thing of the artist, like all roofs
Yes.
get hip together. And it has the barn. So it was configured like that in a manner anyway in 1896. And
1896. For me, the person who lived in that building has a lot of historic value, as she was the author of one of the
Exeter history.
Exeter history books, on books on Exeter's history. I mean, that in and of itself is an asset, but is it an asset attributed to the building?
yes, because she was living there at
Yes.
the time she wrote it.
Okay.
Well, the other
Or-
thing I'm looking at is how that fits into the neighborhood. In other words, I was talking about with the owner, he had some various ideas
Yes.
what he would do. And I know a couple that he mentioned, I just couldn't see fitting into a clabbered neighborhood.
Right.
He was talking about bricks at
Yes.
one point. And I just worry about the neighborhood as much as the house itself.
He did say that he was willing to work with us on aesthetics.
Right.
And a design that would fit, being a connected multifamily building that would face the street. He did say he'd work with us on that.
And actually, that's all I really care about. I want it to keep looking like Front Street, if that makes
That's right.
sense.
Yeah.
But, and I do get that the stairs are rotten, that
Oh.
the floors are uneven, that it would be a nightmare putting in electricity and plumbing.
If it was split, like the way it is right now, I personally think that the construction isn't that bad. Just that front piece, not the Ls that were either added on or were there originally. But I don't think that was in bad shape.
The original four buildings, or 4 rooms, or whatever it is up front.
Yeah. The construction of the basement and the construction in the attic are solid. The structure itself is solid.
A lot of that was put in under David
Yes.
when he was making bedrooms for the boys. So that is relatively modern.
Right, but the original parts of the building, in my opinion, were
Yeah.
stable. There was not evidence of leaks from the chimneys in that part. I think there hadn't been much damage to it, and we're not looking at just the history of the building, we are looking at the culture. And that's where Nancy Merrill comes in. And I did not go back and look at the Old Town almanacs. But Pam, you have the information about who owned the property anyway beforehand, which is something we should include with our minutes.
Well, not much of anybody owned it back in the early 1800s. That was, here be dragons. That was all empty. That's why they put the railroad station out there. Back in the days when railroads spewed, fire.
Yeah, that's further up on the map. You can see the
Yeah.
trains
Yeah.
with their big columns of smoke following along.
One of the things I was impressed with is that how he was going to reuse a lot of the building in terms of the foundation field stones, the floors. A woman was coming to take all the windows.
Yeah, that's still in the works. It's not that's not definite, but
Okay.
that's where they would go if he took them out.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so,
the-
and this is all, nothing is committed. This is all what he was saying. He also said that he would do some kind of commemorative plaque or something which would designate the spot where that building was and Nancy Merrill and what her contributions to the town would be. I thought that was good. He also would name it maybe after the family.
Well, you're going
that
to have
lived
to
there.
be careful naming it Merrill House because we already have a Merrill House.
Okay, yeah,
That is an academy dorm.
okay. Yeah, so do people have some thoughts or recommendation as to what you would recommend for this building permit?
I think, in my opinion, and we have a 30-day calendar window from when we got notice of the
Okay.
demolition request, and that was September 5th. And we have 30 days, and the owner said he would work with us once he has a better idea of how he's going to lay out the property, and that would be beyond our 30 days. So the first question is, because he said that, can we go past our 30 days to weigh in on it, or by state law, we have our 30 days?
Well, by state law, you have the 30 days, but at the end of the day, you're advisory.
Oh, yes,
So
absolutely.
regardless of what you say, he can go ahead and tear it down if he wants to, if he wishes to, after the time frame set forth in
Yeah,
the statute.
that's true, because we can make a recommendation to the planning board, because he has to go to the planning board for all of this.
Yeah, I mean, on the safe side, probably, I would say, I think he's willing to work with you, because he came in, talked to me, and that's how it got on the agenda, got, flagged early and so forth.
Yes.
So I believe he's sincere in working with you. But, I'm always on the, side to follow the
rules.
Follow the statutes. If it says issue comments within 30 days, then I would suggest issuing comments within 30 days if that's possible.
I think it is. My proposal to you all is having a public hearing, an actual public hearing. That's, instead of us just making the decision here, we can wait until we have a public meeting and hear from neighbors and interested parties, as well as the owner, how they feel about it and what they think is best for their neighborhood, and any input they want to give. Some may say, take it down, it's just an old thing. Some people, have a history there and might want to see it preserved. So we have. I would like to give at least a week, or if not two, to advertise the public hearing. Now, we don't have a requirement to send notice by certified mail to abutters. something I might want to change at the State House.
Okay.
So then the question is, do we send a nice letter to everyone nearby, or do they get word of mouth from, I don't know.
Well, can we accept, like, written or email? Because the Merrills, Hannah lives in Oregon,
I know they're spread out.
and the three older
Well,
boys are
I
getting
think-
quite elderly.
I think, well, I went to school with two of them. They're not that elderly.
I
the three.
babysat them, come on.
I went to school with two younger ones. So.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping us from sending a letter to residents in the next properties. Just not a certified one, just a regular letter addressed from the Heritage Commission, not from the town.
So we would have to have a public hearing and have a recommendation by October 5th.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whatever 30 days is. 30 business days.
Well, personally, I would be very happy to go with this gentleman, the contractor, if he does in fact do what he says he wants to do. Now,
But he-
we've been burned before.
Well, and to me, in my impression of when he's talking, it wasn't clear, because he talked about demolishing it and putting up townhouses on Front Street.
Well,
Yes,
they can't do
and he said
townhouses.
4, one unit of
At one
4
point,
facing
yeah.
the street.
And then building back, because
Yes.
that's a large lot, it's 2 acres.
Yes, I mean, you could build probably.
So, but our concern is
back there.
the building and its history, its culture,
Yeah.
what it's added to the town. So I think we need to make a decision just on that, not what he proposes to do with it.
Okay.
Our recommendation would be, whatever we decide after that hearing, keep the front part, keep the, demolish the barn, whatever our recommendation is, we'd make at that time. And the owner has that opportunity to explain what he wants to do, and he might have a better idea of what he wants to do at that time.
Well, I can't speak for there is no one owner.
Isn't it the
There's
construction company?
one applicant, okay?
There's one
Oh.
applicant, but there are 6
Oh.
people who have to agree.
Well, they send the representation, that's about all we can ask for. So in your letter to Mr. Eastman, we met, and at this next meeting, we're deciding to hold a public hearing. We need to vote on that.
Yes, okay. So there's a motion, are you making a motion to have a public hearing on the 112 Front Street
Demolition of.
demolition?
Yes, let me, Yes, I would move to hold a public hearing on the demolition of 112 High Street, and date to be determined by the availability of space and recording opportunities.
Second that. That's what we did when we were talking about.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
When we were looking at 110 High Street, we did have a public hearing.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we did.
that was,
So I will put that on this letter to Doug.
Yes.
yeah.
And then, in terms of procedure, do we rely on Doug to just go forward with this, or do we need to have some
With scheduling it?
administration help to go forward with it?
Well, we need to go forward as quickly as possible.
Yes,
We do-
quickly.
We really do.
Yep.
Like next week if possible.
Yes.
I don't want to do the public meeting next week. I don't think that's enough time to advertise that we're having it.
Fine.
Just in, letting
I'm
people
out of
know.
town until the 3rd of October. But that doesn't matter, so I don't need to be there.
Do we want to hold this in the evening, public hearing?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, does Doug take the lead on this?
I don't remember. I mean, we haven't had help before, so.
And here he comes, just the one we need.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now with the process.
Okay.
Doug.
The procedure in the
In the
ordinance.
zoning ordinance.
Yeah. When an application for a demo permit involving demolition, is made, he shall forward a copy, which that happened, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right here.
So then, within 7 business days of the receipt of the copy of the application, the committee, you folks, shall issue a preliminary recommendation regarding the granting of the demolition permit. If the committee issues a recommendation in favor of granting such a permit, demolition permit shall be issued. So you didn't make a
Right.
preliminary recommendation to approve the permit, right?
Right.
Okay, so then it goes to the next step. Well, if the committee issues a recommendation in opposition, no permit shall be issued until a more thorough investigation is undertaken and a final written recommendation is provided by the committee to the code administrator. Investigation and recommendation shall be completed within 30 days of the committee's determination of significance. During the maximum 30-day business day period, so it's not 30 days, it's 30 business days.
Right.
So it's essentially 6 weeks.
Right.
The committee shall meet with the property owner and conduct such public hearings and investigation as it may determine to be necessary in the formulation of its written recommendation regarding the granting of such permit. So, and there's some criteria you should consider. So, I think you need to notify the code administrator in writing to whether it's demolition or no demolition.
Yeah.
At this point, the preliminary findings, and then establish a date and location for a public hearing to occur within 12 days of determination of potential significance.
Okay.
So if you're saying
you're
of
right.
potential significance, you gotta come up within the next, set a hearing.
So I guess the reason I was watching some of this in between my stuff, and one thing I did want, and as we talked about notifying people, and my question to you and Dave as well, is would we do just the direct abutters, and where do we cut off the notifications?
Well, to be consistent with notifications, I would say the direct abutters.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we did with 110, I think, High Street. The thing is,
Direct abutters, right, Bill?
I think that's who we notified officially, but we had a little committee that went off and tried to get other
They
people.
go out to their neighbors,
Yeah.
like across the street from Bill Street, and they
Right.
want to talk and say, hey, listen, there's a public hearing.
Yeah.
It could affect you, then, I mean, certainly it's a public hearing.
Yeah, I don't-
They are able to come, they can, and speak, but just getting that notice out there, and I don't think it has to be certified. I think-
It doesn't even have to be.
Right.
I'm not finding any requirement.
No, there's no requirement.
Notification of abutters. The only thing in here is that you need to put it, the notice of the public hearing shall be submitted to a local newspaper within 2 days of the decision to have one. So if
So
you
if-
decide today to have a public hearing, we gotta send it to the local paper. But the problem with that is I don't know if it matches up with
The schedule.
they're actually publishing it before the meeting.
They'll publish it on a Friday.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna publish it after the meeting happens.
If the newsletter, yes, but you can do, as you say, patch, or Portsmouth Herald.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Because the usual paper we put it in has set deadlines. I deal with that all the time in the planning board, and if we miss it, then it's not getting in the paper in time.
So 2 days from today,
2 days from today, you you submit it, within 2 days, you submit the notice to the public, to the local newspaper.
Okay. While we're all here, we still have a motion on the
Yes,
table.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think Dave was just trying to make sure we were going in
I know,
that
but
direction.
before I leave the room to schedule something in 2
Yeah,
days,
okay, so,
to know what
Well, no,
to
you don't
do.
have to schedule it in 2 days.
But don't we need it to, when we
You
give?
schedule it within 12 days, and then as soon as you say the date, you need to say the date, when you're gonna hold the public hearing.
Right.
And then within 2 days from that, from when you say the date, we submit it to the newspaper.
So if it's the
All right.
30th, it has to be, could be the 28th, we'd have to send that out, 2 days.
No, if you say there's a hearing on September 30th,
Yeah.
we have until Friday to tell the newspaper that,
Right.
because it's 2 days from today.
Oh, 2 days.
And you,
That we just tell the newspaper about it. That's what it says. I'm just following what your ordinance says.
but the newspaper is the Portsmouth Herald now?
Generally, well, no.
Seacoast
group?
Online.
Yeah, we usually do Seacoast Online, Exeter
Yeah.
newsletter.
Extra newsletter, I know is not being published. It's not getting to the Riverwoods anymore. They claim they are, but that never gets there. So I don't know who would get it. That's what I'm saying. Do they sell the extra newsletter at Jerry's and that sort of thing?
Yeah,
still?
and
They do.
Walgreens and,
Okay, so it is used still.
but
I
yeah,
have to pay for it then.
So I think, so I just need to know about the notification of the butters. I mean, we can do that at any time, I mean, that's not like anything.
right, that's not a formal thing.
It's-
We've
yeah.
never done it, you know.
Yeah,
It's not part of your ordinance, so.
Right.
so you can do that at any time. I mean, if you want to do it and have it, we'll do the mailings for you. If you put a letter together and we'll come up with the direct abutters is probably 5 or 6. I
So-
think they want to have to be certified, so
No, we have nothing about that in the ordinance, so,
we're just doing this out
No,
of kindness of our hearts. And due diligence.
yes.
So what are we going to say is going to be the significant saving grace
Nancy
here?
Merrill wrote the book.
That's a big part of the cultural resource.
It's related to Andrew Carnegie, and he slept there.
Nobody's ever heard of our Andy Carnegie.
What?
I mean, you and I do, but that's because we're old farts.
Oh, my God.
Pam, watch your language, please.
And I think that the significance of Nancy Merrill can be achieved through other means, but I think the motion is on the table to have a public hearing, and so I'd like to call the vote.
Well, right before you do, I just
Okay.
want to clarify again with Dave. If we call today that we want to have a public hearing, then when do we have to go to the newsletter?
Within 2 days, because let me read it to you.
Of the date that we're going to hold it.
So we,
No,
Oh,
Within 2 days of making this decision
Okay.
today.
that's what it says.
Okay.
It says,
So it'd be
where did I go? Okay.
Friday.
This is one of your responsibilities. Establish a date and location for a public hearing to occur within 12 days of the determination of potential significance. So what happens is within a week, you met with them, and then you made a determination that it has potential significance. So if at that time you determine it doesn't have any potential significance, then you tell Doug that after your meeting, and then the permit gets issued.
All right.
But you don't do that. You say, okay, this has potential, it's a preliminary kind of thing, saying, okay, hold off. That gives you another 12 days from the date of that. Okay, so say that happened on the 10th, right? Then you have till the 22nd to determine if you're going to have a public hearing. And so you're in that's where you are right now.
Yep.
And once you determine the date and location for a public hearing, I'll go to Barb and say, you got to send it to the paper ASAP.
Okay.
You got to notify within 2 days of your decision to say it. So if
So
you
we-
say on the 30th, yeah.
So we need to have a date and set,
and who gets the date? Barbara or?
yeah, we can ask anybody, but,
I have to make sure we have a place for
Well, that's what we have
That's what
to
we were
check.
wondering about, yeah.
So, yeah, we,
Yeah, I mean, this is all designed to, I think the property rights, it's owner's discretion to demo it, but, so you move quickly, so, they're not
Stuck.
stalled or stuck,
Okay.
yes, so.
we originally had a 90-day schedule based on Concords and found that it just wasn't fair. It wasn't, it just wasn't working out and people were upset. So we changed it down to the 30 days because it doesn't happen that often. And we were having trouble getting a quorum even back then, so.
Wednesday, so,
Yeah, so.
The 18th is today, Wednesday.
okay, so, probably next week sometime.
Do you have a meeting scheduled for other meetings being held next week?
Yeah, well, this room should be either this room or the wheelwright.
For the
Okay.
public hearing on that? Okay. I mean, there's no way, we can send it to the paper, but it's not getting in the paper.
Okay, so you're recommending
For
the
next week, but
following?
no, I'm not, I'm just saying, the ordinance only says to send it to the paper.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't say published.
Okay. Okay,
I'm sure that's probably the intent, but,
yeah.
But
Well,
Well,
no,
we
you
could do the
know,
following week. You said, Dave, that we have like basically 6 weeks. It's 30 business days.
right.
So I don't see any problem having it October 1st. I mean, the week of October 1st, but that, I don't know about the availability of this room.
Well, that's what we can just
We can.
ask, can you ask, ask Barb to
Yeah,
go
that'd be
check
great.
it
Let me see if Pam's got
for an evening.
a schedule.
Yeah,
usually the first week is,
yes,
except for the
Yep.
select board.
Yeah, usually the first week is pretty empty of
Yeah.
oh, the
meetings.
first week. Okay, that's perfect.
The second is going to be a budget recommendation committee meeting, I know that much.
Okay.
The 2nd of October?
Yes. But there was something else going on. So, so I'm not going to amend my motion. I'll make a second motion about the date of the hearing.
Sure. So my letter will say, we met, we found there is potential historic significance. We'd like to hold a public hearing to further explore that, and the public hearing date is this. And then we'll have the public hearing in the paper, and then Doug would be in charge of sending letters to the abutters.
Yeah, I think a copy of that letter, if we put the date or in the second motion.
I got a calendar right here. Oh, for the rooms? Well, wait a minute, what do we?
So
just-
what, have you come up?
Okay.
I think Barb
No,
said
I'll-
we need a specific date
Right.
Yes.
right now, and then she can check it.
Oh.
Well, I can
okay.
check it right here, too.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
check it on let's just go to Exeter.
Yep.
Homepage, agenda and minutes. Okay, what day are you looking at?
October 1st or 3rd.
Okay, on the 1st, we have the Sustainability Advisory Committee at 7 PM. On, you said the 3rd?
Yeah.
On the 3rd, we have the Communications Advisory Committee at 6:30.
We could do it the
And the
first.
2nd, we have the Budget Recommendations Committee at 6:30, so.
So you can do the wheelwright one, right?
Can it be televised?
9:30 at 7. Wow, there's a meeting every day that week. Yeah, you can do the wheelwright room. Yeah, they televise it. What they do is they set up a camera static. They don't follow, like they do here.
Yeah.
But they just set it up static. It doesn't live feed, but then when they go down, the meeting's over the next day, they put it on so it's available online.
We've done things down there.
Yeah,
We know.
it gets on there, it's just not live.
So availability of the wheelwright one.
Yeah, that's what we're looking, no, look, we'd really like to be up here.
Okay.
But it sounds like we don't have.
Yeah, the
time.
wheelwright room I'd have to, yeah, we'd have to go to my computer or Barb's computers, check the calendar, because then it'll show the wheelwright.
I would say so. Do you think
Does it have
the,
to be at night?
Yeah, I know that,
Evening,
I'd rather.
availability
Okay.
of people.
I'm sure the applicant's gonna be available in the day, but,
well, did you say on the 1st that there was a meeting here at 7:30? So we could have our meeting here at 6?
10-1, it's,
Or
I think, I
6:30?
don't think it's 7:30, I think it's 7.
So
Yeah,
we
7.
could have a meeting
So you
at
could have it at
6.
5. You could do it at 5, 5:30.
Yeah,
5:30, 6?
Well, actually, that would be better for me because I can't drive at night.
okay.
Okay, well, that sounds,
I think that's a good idea.
So,
so 5:30?
or 5?
Or what do
I
you
think 5:30 is good. Yeah, on the, we're talking the 1st.
first?
Oh, Kristen must be watching, because she just texted me, SAC is not meeting on the 1st.
Okay,
Oh,
So, but
But
to
5:30?
Pam's point, I think you should probably stick with,
5:30.
yeah, because
Okay.
it gets dark.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
getting dark at 6:30 by that time.
okay.
All right, so the first motion is that we want to, what did I say?
Hold a public hearing.
Hold a public hearing, yeah. So we need to vote on that, and then we can,
Okay.
or do you
And
want me
we
to?
already had a second, so all in favor?
Well,
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. And,
Then I'd like to make another motion that we hold a public hearing on October 1st at 5:30 in the Novak Room for a hearing on the demolition of 112 Front Street.
anybody second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So on this item, Dave, would you be taking care of the newspaper publishing, or?
Yeah, I will. I mean, Barb, eventually, like,
Oh,
yeah, you tell
yeah,
me and
Okay,
I'm
Yep.
going to tell her.
okay, that's what we're doing. So Dave's going to take care of the publishing. And then, Doug, are you going to take care of who takes care of the notification of the abutters?
I can do that.
Okay, and also the contractor? We need to notify the contractor,
The applicant.
the
Right.
applicant?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Who might be the contractor too, but. who
okay,
knows?
You do the letter, get them to us, we'll copy and put them in an envelope
okay,
with the abutters addresses. and,
Okay.
They're not gonna be certified, so.
okay. So with just basic information, we're holding a public hearing.
Yes.
Is it on town stationery?
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, me letter.
Yep,
Okay,
take care of that.
and then I will get you our official letter
Okay.
of what,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you. Just wanted to make sure
Yes. This is great.
how we were gonna notify.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I think that'll work out just great. So,
How about a banner across? from the Water Street?
There are towns that do have big signs that say, just have the letter Z on them, that they put out on a property that's going to the zoning
Is that right?
board. Or an HD if it's going to the Heritage Commission. I brought that up once at the planning board, and they were not happy with it, so I thought it was a good idea, but
Yeah, it is.
okay, in the updates, we're going to another item. Any updates from the select board that we need to know about?
no.
Okay. Any updates from the planning board?
We don't have anyone here from the planning board.
Right, okay. Any updates from the Historic District Commission?
Well, I just had somebody who volunteered to be an alternate,
Yes.
Yeah.
I volunteered to be an alternate.
and we'll bring it up tomorrow night.
Okay. I'd like to help.
Well, eventually, hopefully, these two committees will merge, but they seem to be having a problem.
Well, I can speak to what I understood from the problem is that members of the HDC either aren't available or are not, just aren't interested in, because most of our work is the demolition. We have to take on the education part, which is what we talked about
Yes.
earlier. It was more about availability and having the other duty added on to what they're doing.
It's impossible to get 5 people to meet at any time.
So, old business, I'm not quite sure, I know at our last meeting, Julie, you informed us that the historic district, and actually Dave, you and Dave went forward in an application for a grant.
Yep.
And is that grant the camp grant?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. What grant was that?
It was for identifying character-defining features
Yes.
of buildings in historic districts.
And was that through who?
New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources.
Okay.
Just basically, complete individual survey forms on
Okay,
each property
yes.
in the district.
Okay, and so, okay, great, because now, do you need help on that grant?
Right now, all we needed was a letter of intent.
Oh,
Letter intent's been submitted.
okay,
I had to follow up. I had to have a conversation with Brandy and DHR. I did that, I think on the August 26th.
Yes.
After the letter of intent, we talked to her. And then I forget, I have it written in my calendar when the grant application is due, but I'll write the grant application.
Okay.
I mean, I saved all my stuff from my prior employment, and I wrote that application initially from them, so I have kind of the bones of it.
You've got a good
Of
template.
I got a good template, so it shouldn't be that too much heavy
okay,
lifting.
great. And when was that, do you know when that one's due?
I don't. I'd have
Okay.
to check.
Okay.
It's in my calendar.
Okay.
I don't know, but
Okay, thank you, that's great,
it's not for a little while.
okay.
Yeah, they stretched out the process now so that we can spend the money over 2 years instead of in 9 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the form of government that we have, we can't approve the spending of any money. So if we have any matching grant money that we want to promise, we couldn't do any work until after the March vote. And then DHR wanted the product finished in November or something like that. It was like really squished for time. And now DHR has changed their timing schedule, so we can do it within, we can plan and find out how much money we may need and then vote on it and then use it. So it's better.
Okay, great. So the the next item, Heritage Commission outreach, we've discussed a lot of that, and one of the things we wanted to focus on was the historical, the walking tour app. And so Pam has given me the information from the Historic Society and the person that I can talk to there regarding the app. So I will do that and find out, the extent to which we could work with them to expand it and promote it.
And talk to the communications committee about advertising ourselves.
Yes.
I think all they really want is to have some acknowledgement that this was done by the Historical Society.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
have to be.
Absolutely. In fact, I was going to say the other way. If we add things, please, give us credit for what we add.
Yeah, and so you know what? That brings us to this next item that Julie brought our attention to, is that the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence signing is going to be July 4th, 2026.
Right.
I think that's a perfect reason to get all the groups together that are interested in heritage and history, or have a stake in the history of the town together to talk about.
Well, we have formed a committee for the commemoration.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay.
We need volunteers on it, and we want to, and part of the mission is to work with interested parties or parties we want to bring in.
Okay,
Historical Society, if you're planning on anything, we can do a mutual working at it or definitely advertising it. The town's going to be doing something. The plan is, my plan, and I'm the only one on it right now, is to,
Select board starting to do this?
yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Select board, okay.
So we're going to plan things throughout 2025.
Yep.
To celebrate in 2026. So what we want to do, or one thing we may want to do, and I think we will, is reach out to the other nonprofit organizations, Historical Society, Certified Local Government, the state archivist, about the events that we're going to hold in Exeter.
Excellent.
And one of my goals is to have it celebrated not just on the 4th of July, but throughout the year.
Great.
So if anybody here wants to be on that, I would appreciate more volunteering. Or get somebody else so that River Roads is not overrepresented. Or you can certainly be
Well,
on
as
it.
you know, it's mostly the Big Yellow American Heritage Museum, because that's where the declaration was in fact found, and that's why we have Exeter special 4th of July on halfway through the month, because that's when the declaration was physically got here. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, yes, they do, and you're on the board, so you ought to know.
We're already starting to plan
Yeah.
to make that festival big and best. So
Excellent.
getting reenactors, it would be good to like reenact not the Portsmouth part of the raid on Fort William and Mary, but the getting the gunpowder to town in the powder house, because that's on a different date than the 4th of July. And I've talked with some of the reenactors that come to the festival every year, and they're not scheduling that far ahead, which I think is insane, given what that next year is
Oh,
going to be.
yes.
But so I'm on the list to be contacted for when they're available. And in fact, one of them approached me last year. So it's ideas like that. It might be something as simple as, wear red, white, and blue day, just to keep the spirit going.
Excellent. Yes. So will you be like announcing that committee and?
We already have. It
Oh.
should be on the website as something to volunteer for.
Oh,
But again, it's just the simple, hey, we're doing this
okay.
so far.
Okay.
And I've had one volunteer. And not everybody on it needs to stay through the whole thing. It's, we may have the Historical Society come in one day, ask, what's your plan? If you have one, if you don't, help us plan something.
Right.
And then you don't have to come back to every meeting.
Yeah.
Same with the Independence Museum or Congregational Church or, anything that's the Lad Gilman House, what Historic New England may be doing. I don't know. I know the state archivist, there's actually a commission set by law for this celebration, and they've met twice, and there's no report of what they decided, and they haven't met since. So I asked the Division of Historical Resources what they're doing, and they said, oh, it's the state archivist that is taking this under control. So we called the state archivist, and they're busy with the elections, I guess, keeping the ballots. I don't know what. So we'll be in touch with them to find out, because Exeter should be a central part of that, since we were the capital of New Hampshire during the Revolutionary War. So, I don't want Concord to forget us.
Right. Well, Dave, you probably have some ideas about what could go on that year.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, you don't have to tell us
Okay.
right now, but, in terms of.
Just say yes.
Yes, I will come up with some stuff.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, we don't have a staff person for it yet, so.
Okay. Okay, great. So And the other item is the workshops. I've just been noting them, the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance workshops. I list them here when I see them for informational purposes. One of the items, the New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources, they're putting together a new preservation plan. The old one is, well, the last one they made was from 2021 to 2025, and they're in the process of putting together the plan for the future, and they wanted people to go to the website and give input into what should be included in the new plan.
Yeah, I just keep telling them, training, 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 training.
Okay.
But I'm going to put it in there.
So, the rest of the items are informational in terms of workshops that the Preservation Alliance is holding, and Julie, you informed us on their spring meeting.
Yeah.
Will be here in Exeter.
The Office of Planning and Development, did you attend one of the Zoom meetings that they had?
Yes.
They did the hot topics. They don't often, if ever, deal with historic district commissions or heritage commissions in their planning. But I think with the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance bothering them, it will happen more often, or it will happen. But I have to see what's going on with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Does anybody have anything that they want to bring up? Okay. So I think that's all the items that we have on the list, so I'd like to close the meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.